All right. So this is my book, Artisan Cake Company's Visual Guide to Cake Decorating. And you can buy this on Amazon. And in this book, it has a section in it that no other cake decorating books have, which is the elements and principles of cake design. And so that's on page 71. And what this talks about is a lot of design principles as far as like how you actually decorate, how do you actually make like a nice cake design, you know, like how do you balance color and all that stuff. So that's some information that's in here. But what I want to talk about is the actual color wheel and what is color. So this is the color wheel here. I'm sure you guys have seen a color wheel, and it's it can be kind of confusing, I guess. For some people it might feel a little bit overwhelming, but basically there are 3 colors in the color spectrum. So RGB. Those are colors that are base colors, and you can't make them. So you can't make red, you can't make yellow, you can't make blue. So you have to have those 3 colors to make all of the other colors in theory, right? So green is made from blue and yellow. See, there's blue here, yellow here. And orange is made from yellow and red. And purple is made from red and blue. And then there are all these subcolors, you know, like a yellowish green or a greenish blue, you know, turquoise, those types of colors. But that's the basics. So your primary colors are yellow, red, blue, and your tertiary colors are the colors between those things. So green, orange, purple are tertiary colors. There are color schemes that fall under a color wheel. So primary colors are what we talked about, the yellow, red, and blue. Secondary colors, the green, orange, and purple. And these are, you know, there's names for these combinations on the wheel. So if you have 2 colors that are opposite from each other on the color wheel, those are called complementary, and those will always go together. It'll be bright, you know, it's got a lot of contrast, right? So if you look on your color wheel, if you pick one color, yellow, and you look across from that, it's purple. Those complement each other and they will always go together. If you look at green, the opposite of green is red. Those are complementary, they will always go together. Orange and blue or purple are complementary and they always go together. So if you're ever trying to look for like a really fun, playful design and you want 2 bright colors that you know go together, pick any color on the color wheel and look directly across from it, and it will be a complementary color which will go together. There's also riffs off of that. The name of this book is Artisan Cake Company's Visual Guide to Cake Decorating. So if you wanted to do a split complementary, let's say you wanted 3 colors on your cake instead of 2, you could pick 2 colors that are similar on the color wheel, like a burgundy and a purple, and then the one directly across from that. So that's called split complementary, where you have 2 similar colors and then 1 color that is across the wheel. So you could pick like a green and a yellow, and then this kind of pinky purple over here, and that's a split complementary. Or you can do like a yellow and an orange and then a purple, and that's a split complementary. This is the book for those who want to screenshot it. Artisan Cake Company's Visual Guide to Cake Decorating. It's on YouTube or on Amazon. So then so just keep in mind that these color combinations, the complementary and split complementary, are playful color schemes. Like they're not toned down, you know, they're bright, they're colorful, they're energetic. The more contrast and brightness you have in a color scheme, the more like loud and kind of like it's going to be. But let's say you want something that's a little bit more toned down. The less contrast you have in colors, the more like calming, relaxed it's going to be. And that's called an analogous color theme. So if you picked 3 colors that were next to each other on the color wheel, that's going to be like a gradient or ombre, and is going to have a more sophisticated, relaxed, calming look to it. Whereas something that is opposite on the color wheel is going to be brighter, louder, more vibrant. So these are all examples. Like if you're struggling to come up with a color combination for a cake and you know you want to use yellow, but you don't know what goes with yellow, you can pick any one of these types of color combinations and just look. Be like, okay, if I pick yellow, then I could go yellow, orange, red, or I could go yellow, green, blue, and that's going to be a more calming, sophisticated color scheme. But if I wanted it to be more playful, I could go yellow, purple, red, and that's going to be a more vibrant color scheme. So just as long as you know one of your colors you want to start with, then you can kind of look and see what colors go along with that. So the rest of this talks about, contrast and, color balance, shapes, sizes, creating direction with color, all kinds of information here about design, visual weight. Like the busier and brighter something is, the more visual weight it has. So that's kind of how you create direction around a cake. So like this cake right here, it has, this is my book. So this has 2 focal points right here, but they're kind of in the same spot. But if you just move one up and one down, then you have like, and then the board is the same color. So your eye goes around from color to color to color instead of being kind of stagnant going back and forth to this. So you want to usually create focal points in 3s. So like this is a focal point, this is a focal point, this is a focal point. So you're like da 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 da, This is 3 focal points. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you always want to try and be creating 3 focal points to move your eye around the cake. Anyway, this is a whole other subject. But that's about all I wanted to talk to you about in the book as far as color goes, right? So again, one last time, Artisan Cake Company's Visual Guide to Cake Decorating on Amazon. So we have our white fondant here, and some colors you really want to start out with. Here, I'm gonna move my. Some colors you want to start out with already a bright color. So if you wanted to make like a reddish orange, you might want to pre-make your fondant using my red fondant recipe, or maybe start out with some pre-made red fondant, because if you add a ton of color to your fondant, you are going to have problems. So for instance, navy blue, I would suggest making navy blue by using my recipe on my website, artisancakecompany.com, and there's a black fondant recipe. And instead of using black food color, use half royal blue and half black, and that's how you make navy blue. So that's one of those hard colors where it takes a lot of color to make it. So you don't want to just add those colors straight to white. Another hard color to make is dark purple, like a plum purple. So again, you want to use the same recipe on my website, artisancakecompany.com, and instead of using all black, use half regal purple, half regal purple, half black, and that will give you that dark purplish color. So those are 2 colors that come up a lot, and people have problems making those colors because it requires so much. Oh yeah, the purple is stable. So let me show you guys a trick with purple. Let's start out with purple. I'm sure you guys have all had this problem. I'm going to put gloves on so I don't get my hands totally ruined. I just got my nails done. So, if you want to make a nice vibrant purple, a lot of people complain that when they add the regal purple to white fondant, it ends up being kind of this dead lavender looking color. So I'm going to show you how to make a nice bright vibrant purple. Let's think for a second. I gotta make sure I have my proper colors here. Let's think for a second, what is purple made of? Purple is made of blue and red. But blue and red are not just like, it's not just the solid color. It has undertones, right? So when I make purple, I think about the undertone of purple that I'm trying to create. Do I want a bluish purple, like a blueberry, which it's more of like a blue undertone, or do you want to have more of a pinkish purple, like a vibrant pinkish purple? So I'm going to show you two different things, two different types of purple. First one we want to make is very bright pinkish purple. So I'm going to start with electric pink, which is very bright. I'm using Americolor gels, by the way, which is very bright, clean color. Need that into the fondant. So you have a very bright neon-y color, which, by the way, if you want neon pink, that's how you make it. Electric pink. It makes a very neon pink. And then let's purple it. There we go. So now when you add your purple, your regal purple, instead of it being kind of this dull purple, you'll have a nice, bright, vibrant purple. You see how bright that is? It does not matter the order that you put the colors in, but you should try and start with the lightest colors first and then add in your darker colors. So let me show you what the purple looks like with just purple. So that's with the pink. Let's see what it looks like with just straight purple. So when you look at the purple that you're trying to, you can't say how many drops because it just depends on how dark you want it to be, guys. So I can't say add exactly 2 drops because it depends on how much fondant you have in your hand and how dark you want it to be. So this is the color purple when you add just straight purple to white. This is the color purple you get when you, sticking together. This is the color purple you get when you add pink in there. Do you see the difference? It's a big difference. This is kind of this dead lavender, and when this fades, it turns to like this gray color. This won't fade because it has pink in it. So now, if I wanted this purple to be kind of a bluey purple, like a blueberry, take, sorry, I gotta find my correct colors. Terracotta. I just bought a whole bunch of new colors, so they're not really organized right now. Okay, gotta invest in these electric colors. So this is electric blue. Electric blue into the fondant that has the bluish color. I'm going to add some more purple. My hands are going to be tired by the end of this scope. So this is more of like a bluish purple. So this is like the color of like a blueberry, right? So there's a big difference between a pinkish purple and a bluish purple. So when you look at your colors, especially purple, you need to think about what the undertones are. Indigo is basically a dark blue. Yes, you need to add, no color is just one color. You understand that? So like if you just take orange, let's say I want to make orange. Let's do another experiment here. So let's just take orange and put it into some fondant, white fondant. Hate wearing gloves. Hate it. So I need orange fondant. So there's our orange fondant. If you take your fondant and you add a little, because what is orange made of? It's yellow and red. If you add a little bit of the undertone, which is a little bit of yellow, start with yellow first, and then a little bit of orange. So this is the orange just all by itself, and this is the orange with the yellow in it. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but this is much brighter. You can tell in real life for sure, but this has like more of a brightness and a cleanness. This is kind of like a dead orange color. Does that make sense? This is why I have such strong arms, is from hand kneading fondant. So got those two colors. Same thing with green. Let's do green. Somebody tell me, if I'm going to make green, what color should the undertone be? Yellow. You are correct, XT Mitch. Oops. Maybe use the green that's already open. So this is just the straight green. Nope, not blue. Yellow. It's always the warmer color that is the undertone, unless you want it to be more of a cool color, I guess, if that makes sense. So like for the purple, the bluish purple, we added blue because we wanted it to be a bluey purple. For the purple, we wanted to add like the pink to it. So it just depends on what your undertone is, I guess. So this is regular green. And let's add a little bit of our yellow. And then a little bit of our green. I have not used America Color Nude for skin tone because I use ivory. Yes, this works with modeling chocolate. This works with anything. This is color theory. This works with everything. The undertone is the color that your, how do I explain this? The undertone is the color that is one of the colors used to make the color. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're trying to make orange, orange is a combination of yellow and red. But we're not making orange, we're trying to make orange look more realistic. So we're using orange plus yellow to make a true orange. Or to make pink, pink is a combination of like red and white, but we don't want to, we're not combining red and white, we're trying to create a true pink. So we're taking a little bit of pink and a little bit of purple to create a true purple. Blue is an undertone of green, but I'm not trying to make a bluish green, I'm trying to make a true green. So I know that's confusing, guys. So that's why I said to just take notes. To make a true green, you add a little bit of yellow and then your green, and you see the difference between these two greens. This is like a true green. It's a very clean, bright, vibrant green, and this is like a dead kind of, like, it doesn't have real color to it because this is just green and white. This is yellow and green. When you make brown, your fondant is cracking. What about light green? If your fondant's cracking, you might be adding too much color. Yes, I'm trying to show you how to enrich the colors. Okay, so somebody give me a color to make. Gray. All right, gray is a big problem. All right, hold on to your other requests real quick until I finish with the gray, okay? So gray, everybody knows how to make gray, right? A little bit of black and a little bit of white. You want mostly white though, right? So I'm using the super black. Gray is very easy to make, I promise you. So all black food coloring has an undertone, all of it. Every brand of black food coloring has an undertone. So it usually, I've noticed that it either has a purple undertone or it has a green undertone. So Americolored black has a purple undertone, which means when you knead it with the white, it doesn't look white, it looks like lavender. Looks like a lavender color. Can somebody tell me what the opposite of purple is on the color wheel? So this is my yellow. So that's what you do, is you add just a touch, like a touch of yellow. So if whatever your undertone is in your fondant that you're making, you add the opposite color of that on the color wheel and it will bring it back to the color it's supposed to be. So you see, that's a true gray. It just took that, a little touch of yellow to take out the purple. Yep, with any tone, like if your brown looks a little bit green, what's the opposite color of green on the color wheel? Red, correct. So if you have a brown that looks a little bit green, add a touch of red. A touch, not a lot, just a touch of red, and it will counteract the green. Okay? Next color, please. Coral. Coral is hard because a lot of people's definition of coral is different. Coral to me is a pinky red, right? So Often when you guys are trying to think of how to make a color, if somebody said to you, I want to make coral, and you tried to describe what coral looks like, you would say coral is a pinkish reddish color. So that tells you right there the colors that you want to use to make coral. If someone said, I want you to make turquoise, and you were to describe what turquoise is, you would say, well, turquoise is a greenish blue. And that tells you what colors that you would be using to make the color. Does that make sense? So let's make coral. Coral is a pinkish red. So I'm going to take electric pink. If you build your colors, and if you just add straight violet to white, it's going to fade. If you add a buildup of colors, a little bit of pink, a little bit of purple, blue, red, whatever you want to use, it won't fade. So we have our electric pink, and then we add red. Where's my red? It's also good to know what certain colors look like. Like I know that soft pink already is kind of a reddish pink color. So you can use a little bit of soft pink with your electric pink to kind of intensify the pinkness. So you have kind of that color. It's almost like a bubblegum pink. And then a little bit of red. This is getting to the point where I'm adding too much color though. It's getting very wet. So if you wanted to make a lot of coral, you might want to make it like in a mixer, you know what I mean? Because once you add too much color, you start getting into like sticky zone, so you have to knead in more sugar. I use just regular Americolor gel in my red velvet cake. So can you see that this is a coral color? It's pink with a touch of red. That's coral, pinkish red. Okay. Next color, please. Dark brown. Okay. Black. I have a recipe for making black on my website, so I'm not going to go over making black because you have to make that from scratch. Okay? So, dark brown. First of all, let's think about what colors make brown. Can somebody tell me? Brown is kind of a tricky thing. Red and green, yes. Opposites. Opposites on the color wheel. So you can come up with a whole bunch of different kinds of browns just by going opposites on the color wheel. So think about what kind of brown do you want? Do you want a warm brown? Do you want a cool brown? Do you want a really dark brown, you know? So we're not going to mix our brown from scratch, but I will, just like all the other colors, if you just add straight brown, oops, crap. Sorry, gray, got some brown on you. If you mix straight brown into white fondant, that's going to be vastly different than what you would get if you added in a secondary color. So when I'm adding just straight brown, it's almost like a reddish, it's a very warm, kind of reddish color. Right? It's almost like a ivory. So if we take that and we add, let's say, some ivory to it. The ivory has yellow in it, so it's going to basically do what yellow did for the other colors, like what it does for green, where it adds some life, right? But instead of adding the bright yellow, which would almost make it kind of a neon color, we're adding ivory, which has yellow undertones, but it's still kind of brown in overall color. So let's look at the differences between these two guys. This is without the ivory, and this is with, right? So you can see the richness in color in the one that has the ivory and one without. So how do we take this medium brown color and make it dark brown? Anybody know? Aside from just adding a crap ton more brown. Black. Correct. So to make a dark anything, you have to add black. So I'm going to add this all together. So right now we have kind of a grayish color. Where's my brown? Brown, brown, where did you go? Black, ivory, super black. Where'd my brown go? Super red. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Did I put it in here? Oh, I moved it. Here we go. And like I said, when you're trying to make these dark colors, it's really better to make it all, you know, like in the recipe. Like if I was to make brown, I would use my black food color or black fondant recipe on my website, and instead of using black, I would use half black, half brown. So that way you don't get sticky fondant. But you see how dark that is? Dark brown. This is chocolate brown. Chocolate brown, a little bit of ivory, and black makes dark brown. See how sticky it is though? So put that over there. Next color. Jeez, my hands are all sweaty. Hopefully I can get my gloves back on. Navy. All right, let's do navy and then burgundy. I have no idea what color Carolina blue is. Navy is real easy, guys. Let's start with this blue color. What do you guys think? What do you guys think that navy is? If you were to describe navy, if somebody said, "Oh, what color is navy?" How would you describe it to somebody? It's a dark blue. Exactly. Nope, navy is not purple. You don't say, when you look at navy, you don't say a dark purple. It's a dark blue. So you add black, exactly. So we have our blue here. And then we're going to add a little bit of black. Where's my royal blue? Black and royal blue. I wouldn't say color theory is super technical. It's very simple, really. You just have to, I feel like people overthink it. You just think about it logically in your mind. That's navy. I know this looks very kind of bright, but I just mixed royal blue and black. You can't make royal blue. Blue is a primary color. Remember what I talked about in the beginning? You can't make yellow, you can't make blue, and you can't make red. So I took royal blue and black. That's okay, I'm just re-explaining. Yeah. I wouldn't, sugar cakery, that doesn't exactly work with food coloring. If you can't afford to take a tiny little piece of fondant and mix in some food coloring, then you can't afford to learn, I guess. Everybody can afford to take a little quarter cup of fondant and dye it with some color. Everybody. I don't know what color aubergine is. Aubergine. I don't know. Okay, so burgundy. Tell me what burgundy is. If you were to describe it to somebody, what color is burgundy? Dark red. Yes, dark red. So this is the tricky thing about burgundy. You can't just add black to red, because then the black has undertones to it that affect the red and makes it kind of a brown color, right? So we want a nice true burgundy, which is kind of like a purpley brownish red color. If you were to really look at it, it's like a purplish brownish red. At least that's what I think it is. So we have red and we have purple. So if we took some red and a little bit of purple, and mixed it together, and then a touch of brown. These are all the brown. These are all the colors that we mixed ourselves, right? This is not just red out of the bottle. So we made a true red, we made a true purple, and we made a true brown. And so now we have burgundy. So look what we try and do if we try and mix it with just out of the bottle. If we were just to take the same idea and take red, a little bit of red, come on red. This is why people have problems coloring their fondant. If we take straight red and we add a little bit of purple, where is the purple? Regal purple. Oh, sticky. Very sticky. So this is the burgundy I made with red and purple. And this is the burgundy I made with mixing pink and purple fondant that has the multiple layers in it. This one's like more of a truer. It's hard to see on camera, but I promise in real life you can tell. But if you can't, if it doesn't matter to you, just remember, red and purple makes burgundy. Not brown, not black, red and purple. It is similar. This one just has a little bit more pinkness to it. Yeah, and if you just add straight burgundy to fondant, I think I have burgundy. Let me look. Peach, avocado. I don't think I have burgundy. Oh, here we go. So this is AmeriColor Burgundy. I do have must-have colors that I keep on hand at all times. Of course, red, yellow, and blue. Royal blue, sky blue, all of the electric colors, and I have to have ivory at all times. This is what the burgundy looks like when you mix it right out of the bottle into white. That is not burgundy, it's like lavender. So let's try and add some more, right? Maybe we just need more, right? That is how I made Marsala. So now this is getting super soft and sticky because I'm trying to add more color in an effort to make it darker, right? That's still not burgundy. It's still like a pinky mauve color, right? So I don't know why they labeled this burgundy because it's not burgundy. It's like mauve, and this is incredibly sticky. Red and purple makes burgundy. Okay. Somebody asked how to make eggplant color. What do you guys think that eggplant? How do you make eggplant? Purple and black, you are correct. But not just purple. Remember how we make purple? You start with hot pink, and then you add purple to make a nice, beautiful, true purple. You got to start with that first. So remember this purple that we made before? We started with the electric pink, then we added purple. I'm going to add a little bit more purple to get it to be a nice, dark, rich purple, which again, I would do this in the way where you make a big batch of it like you're making black food fondant because it just gets real wet. But for you guys, I'm just going to show you. It's not like I have to use this later. So we have our nice, rich, pinky purple. Yep, absolutely. This works with royal icing. This is color theory. It's not fondant theory. Although some of these things are kind of unique to these food colors because we're trying to work around undertones and stuff, right? So we've got our nice, beautiful, rich color. And then we add a touch of black. This is very sticky. This is my ivory. This is my black. That might be too much. Marsala is just a dark burgundy, guys. So just add a little bit of black to the burgundy. Yep, I am using Regal Purple. This is getting very wet. So I'm just kneading in a little bit more powdered sugar. So it doesn't stick to my hands as much, but you don't have to buy a chart, guys. There's color wheels on the internet for free. Maroon is not hard. Maroon is just red and purple. That's it. Red, burgundy, marsala, maroon, all those colors are basically a different name for the same color, which is a reddish purple. So that's eggplant. Can you see it? That's just the electric pink with the regal purple and then a touch of black. That's eggplant. You can use violet purple. Violet and regal is basically the same thing. If your maroon is not coming out right for you, maybe it's because you're not building up your undertones. So let's do it again. Put my gloves back on. Tell me what color you think maroon is. A reddish purple, right? So, reddish purple. So we got to start with our purple. With what? What do we add to our purple first? Pink. So electric pink first. And then our purple. Hands are getting tired. Woo! And then red. Light blue. That's a true blue, okay? Oops, I think I added too much red to that, but it's okay. Let me just knead in some powdered sugar and then you'll see. No, it's not yellow and sky blue. No. No, 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 no. Unless you're talking about Tiffany blue. I thought you were talking about the light blue. I literally have seen people say to make blue, you combine green and yellow. Like I literally have seen people say that. Now. So this is kind of red. So I might add a little bit more purple. I added too much red. Yeah. Believe it or not, a color wheel has a purpose. It actually helps you understand what colors to mix together. It's not just like a representation of colors that exist in the world. Like it has a purpose. This is getting very sticky. Tiffany blue is yellow and sky blue. Yes. Sorry about that. I freaked out and looked up. Yes, so then you can add a little bit of black to this. So this is maroon. It's like a purplish red color. And then you can add black to this to make marsala, which is basically a dark maroon. But I really recommend that you make it from scratch from the recipe. Otherwise it gets real sticky like that. Okay, so light blue. Sky blue, Americolor has green undertones. So this is sky blue. You would think that sky blue would be using sky blue, but it's not true. I'll show you what happens. This cornstarch will not get rid of the sticky. If you add too much food coloring to your fondant, no amount of cornstarch is going to get rid of that. If you want to color your wafer paper burgundy, I would airbrush it, layering up the colors that you need it to be. So you would spray like some pink and then some red and then some purple. So this is the sky blue with a little bit of white. Feels weird using no gloves after I was using gloves all this time. See, this looks, I don't know, this looks pretty clean to me. I don't know. Maybe they changed it. But this looks pretty blue to me. But anyways, I'll go ahead and show you what I was going to show you. When I add sky blue into cake batter, it always turns green. So this is the electric blue. Which the electric colors are just pure color. They don't have any like undertones. So this is the sky blue and this is the electric blue. You can't really tell. Okay, any other colors? I think we'll do 2 more colors and then I'll call it a night. I think we've covered pretty much all of the difficult colors. Oh, I am gonna say one thing. Let's talk a little bit about toning colors down, right? So this green, this is a very bright, vivid, unnatural green, right? So if you want to learn, if you want to make a more natural color, like you're trying to make a beautiful natural green that's like the color of a real leaf and not the color of neon like this is, add ivory. Ivory tones everything down, or brown, and it makes it more natural. So if I take this green and I add ivory to it, these are all Americolor. So ivory is basically a yellowish brown. I don't know if cream is the same. I don't know what color that is. So this is without the ivory, and this is with the ivory. Do you see how it's more of like an olivey color? Can you tell? This is more of like a neon bright color, and this is more of an olivey color. So add ivory to something. I use leaf green. Now, if I wanted to further tone this down and make it into like a monotone, like a really like tone down. Like remember when your mom says, hey, tone it down. She means make it less intense. So if I added a little bit of black to my green, that's going to tone it down even more. I don't know why you're scared to add black. You just can't add a lot. You can always add more. I don't know why people are scared to do anything with, it's just fondant. It's just fondant. I don't believe you that it goes weird on you. I just literally just added black to this and it didn't go weird. Hey, what's up? So this is the toned down green with ivory and then a touch of black. And this is the original green that we started out with. I mean, it's got sugar all over it. So you can see this is like Play-Doh green. And this is like a very natural toned down green. Yeah, exactly. So does this make sense? You make whatever color you want. Black, if black is muddying your color, it's because you did not build up your color properly. So if you just add black to straight purple and you didn't build it up with the pink, that's when it turns muddy. So just build up your colors properly to this point and then tone it down with ivory and black. Okay? My flesh tone is literally just ivory into white. That's it. That's all I do. So let's say we have this orange. This is a very bright, vivid orange, and I want to build this, and I want to tone this down to a more natural orange. So let's cut this in half. This is my LMF fondant. And then I'm going to add a little bit of ivory. Which is a brownish yellow. I normally need fondant with shortening in my hands to keep it from sticking. So I'm going to go back to that. So this is a bright orange, and this is with ivory added to it. You see how it toned it down and made it less intense? It's still orange, it's just a less bright orange. And then if we add black to this, a touch of black, this actually turned to almost like a brown. Fondant will last you forever if you store it properly. So now this is like almost a brownish color. But we started off with this orange. Orange plus ivory plus black has made this kind of browny orange color. Yeah, this is totally like poop brown. Let's see, what else? I'll show you how to make my favorite color of pink. Take white and soft pink or electric pink. I just added soft pink to this. So to me, this is not a pretty color of pink. I didn't add anything before the pink. Oh, I added shortening. This is just shortening on my fingertips to keep it from sticking to my hands. So this is just soft pink in white. No, there's not a certain amount of fondant that you work with. It's just however much you need. And then you add a touch of ivory. Not so much that it makes it peach, but it makes it into like this beautiful strawberry pink color. And I call it strawberry ice cream color. So this is without the ivory, and this is with the ivory. You see how it's just like a softer, prettier pink? This is my favorite way to make pink. Soft pink with a touch of ivory. Hopefully you can see the difference. This is like more of a purpley. Okay? Yes, for blush, I would use electric pink with a touch of ivory. You can't make red. You cannot make primary colors. Red, blue, yellow. You can't make it. Funny. Man, look at this mess. It's terrible. You can't make gold fondant because gold is metallic. So basically, to make gold fondant, you just paint gold onto brown fondant. And to make silver, you paint silver onto gray fondant. Fuchsia. Fuchsia is a hard one. Fuchsia is very bright. So take... I haven't used Pro Gel yet. So you start with white. And fuchsia is a bright pinkish purple, right? So electric pink, good amount, so that's nice and bright. So much for not ruining my manicure. That's like a super bright pink. And then, let's see if I can find it. One second, please. Gotta find it. Electric purple, electric pink, and electric purple. Oops, this isn't even opened yet. Electric purple has pink undertones. So I just know. That just comes from experimenting. So when you add the electric purple to the electric pink, you don't end up with muddy brown color. Like I have Barbasol shaving cream on hand, but thank you for the tip. Fuchsia, woohoo! Bright, 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 bright. I don't let Avalon play with fondant yet because she's not old enough. I don't want her to eat fondant. I think it's a choking hazard. So I just added a little bit more of the electric purple. So depending on how purpley you want your fuchsia to be. See, fuchsia. People always mess fuchsia up by adding red to it, and then it gets all muddy and gross. Okay. Whew. All right. I think that's about everything, guys. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and I know I didn't cover every single color under the sun, but this should get your brain thinking about how you build up colors using multiple colors. So if you want to make green, don't just put green in your fondant, add a little bit of yellow or add a little bit of ivory. Mix multiple colors to get the color you want, and practice on a little piece of fondant, and you will see pretty quickly what your what you're doing. I know I'm getting used to my bangs too. Your life will be changed if you just learn to add a little bit of ivory to your bright colors. If you have a bright blue, add a little bit of ivory, see what happens. If you have a bright green, add a little bit of ivory, see what happens. It just tones everything down to a more natural color. And that's one of my secrets to making my cake designs more natural and realistic and not so bright and cartoony.